What is up, guys? We are back with another UFC Fight Night breakdown video. Crazy card, went 4 for 6 on the picks. Not too bad. I just can't fucking pick main or co-main events, apparently. But let's get right into it. This is a great card, a lot of finishes. First up, the first prelim of the night, we got Alexia Taherna versus Bruna Brazil. This was a pretty decent fight. So, round one. Let me see, what do I have written down in my notes here? Taherna's looking to land that right hand early, it seems like. They're both attacking the legs. Taherna lands 2 takedowns, actually. This turns into a cage side clinch where Taherna's still landing that right hand. Brazil throws a kick that leads into her getting taken down again, with Taherna in top control, landing some ground and pound for the end of the round. As you can see by the fucking stats here, very dominant round for Taherna at this point. I saw Bruna Brazil at her last fight, and she looked much better, I thought. But today, she was not on her game. Round 2, Taherna's walking Brazil down now. Walks her into that cage side clinch. A lot of work to the body from this clinch position. Both fighters are trying to break out here. And then once they do, Taherna's landing some clean 1-2s. And she lands that 1-2 right into a takedown. Was Taherna on top, in top control, landing some ground and pound again. Same result for the end of the round for the first 2 rounds. So, boom! Did that jump scare work? You should subscribe then, because she definitely took the first 2, and then third was another fucking dominant round. She kept putting her in this, what I think they were calling it a can opener, kind of like holding her head down. Honestly, I don't know that much about it. I hadn't seen it really prior to that. But yeah, just holding her head down and then finishing up with elbows. Like, hold that head down from top control and then fucking elbow right after that. It was killer. Round 3, both throwing some kicks early. Brazil throws a head kick and then gets taken down. With Taherna holding down top control. Brazil struggles to her feet, cage side, and then Taherna lands some good shots into a takedown again. She lets Brazil to her feet this time, and then Brazil's she does land this nice spinning head kick, so Taherna ends up clinching cage side. And then, yeah, Alexia Taherna got the unanimous decision victory. So, a pretty good fight. Went to the decision, so... What is this weight class? I don't know. I don't care, actually. Next, Ricky Simon versus Adrian Yanez. Fuck, I was listening to them say it all night, too. Yanez? I don't fucking know. This was actually a really good fight. Wild that it was a draw, right? Yeah, it was a draw. I cannot believe that. That's crazy. You don't see that too often. And honestly, I think it's kind of a robbery. Round 1 was very close. So Yanez, he's looking to land his jab, it seems like, and he's just doubling it up a lot. And then Simon's just kind of exploding into some combos. Yanez is defending well and using that jab. Simon's mixing in some kicks, and then they have a good exchange at the end of the round. Very close first round. And this is like... You know, I mean, if you're listening to the commentators, DC, Dominic Cruz, they were very heavy on Yanez, whatever, saying he won this round. And I thought it was a lot closer than what they were saying. And judging by the total strikes, it was very close. Now, round 2, I thought this was Simon's round easy. So, round 2, Yanez is still going for that double jab. Simon lands a takedown into top control early, and then he lands some nasty elbows from this position. They get up, but gets taken down again, cage side this time. And then they hold him cage side. Yanez does eventually end up breaking out, and then he starts landing some shots in the middle of the octagon here. So definitely... he showed some good resilience at the end of the round here, but I thought this was Simon's round. Easy Simon's round. Then round 3 was a lot more dominant for Yanez. Yanez is putting some combos together, seems to be finding his footing a lot better too. Simon does land a big shot. It looked like it hurt Yanez. Whatever the fuck, however the fuck you say this guy's name. I'm saying it wrong. Both ways I'm saying are fucking wrong, and I know that. Whatever. Stop trying to spike my fucking cortisol. Nice try. Dude, I'm tired. All right. Anyway, yeah, he hurts him, I thought, and then he seems to be fighting off his back foot. There's a good exchange in the middle of the octagon, and then Yanez drops Simon and almost gets the finish at the end of the round. The ref did jump on top of him, but the bell had already rang, so very close. And then the draw, like, that was crazy. Wild shit, they got the draw here. I thought that even though I was thinking the first round was closer than what the commentators were saying, I did think Yanez did enough to win this fight. So I'm sure that was very disappointing for him. But good fight overall. Great output from both guys. Next, Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. What a fight. This is a good one too. I tell you what, man, this Navajo Sterling kid, he's on one right now, bro. He's coming. He's coming for this division. This shit ain't a fucking game. This shit ain't no fucking joke. All right. All right. What we got here? Round one. Very high output. Oh, look at this. Round one. I didn't realize how close these strikes were in round one. Wow. Exact same number of strikes for round one. That is crazy. Anyway. So round one, Sterling's throwing a lot of kicks early. They have a good exchange in the center. Lopez catches a kick and then pushes him cage side. Lopez is trying to get that sweep off the kick but Sterling is huge, man. He's just way too tall. So Lopez he just can't take him down. The size, this kid's fucking enormous. Yeah, so it's just really would be really difficult for Lopez to get that takedown. Anyway, after they get cage side, end up pushing off and landing some elbows. Sterling throws some bombs while Lopez is looking to clinch up after that for the end of the round. Now, round two, as you can see, the strikes are significant favoring Navajo Sterling here. So what ends up happening is, sorry guys, I'm just not writing shit down properly. Sterling throws a knee. Sterling throws a knee, but does end up getting countered. Sterling's throwing a lot of kicks. Lopez is still attempting some takedowns. Sterling drops Lopez twice, hurt him bad, and landed some crazy ground and pound for the TKO. Great call from the ref. I thought they were going to end it earlier, honestly. He was giving him every chance he had to try to get his bearings and fucking lock in there. But yeah, Navajo Sterling that was his first finish within the UFC. He's definitely an up-and-coming prospect to watch out for. Great fight from both guys. Lopez held his own for the first round too, and honestly, he was making adjustments. So, Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. This was a phenomenal fight. Now we're starting to see some finishes. This is where I'm starting to like this fucking card. All right, so off rip here, the one and only round. O'Neill's coming out fast, working that jab early. Fernandez is working in some kicks, very back and forth in the beginning here with the combos. And then O'Neill lands a huge shot and then chases Fernandez down cage side and gets that TKO finish, baby. She was just fast. She was fast as fuck. Fernandez looked a little maybe nervous. I'm not sure, but O'Neill was just quick, man. Like, quick. Boom, round one over. Now, Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. Craziness at the end of this fight here. Let's get right into it. Round one. All right. Round one. Fortune's looking very springy early. A lot of spring in his top, a lot of hop. Keeping his hands low. Fortune lands some shots into a takedown fairly early as well. They get cage side. Tybin eats a big right on his way up from that takedown there. When I say a big right, I mean a big right. And then Tybura actually lands a couple shots. Not too much output for the final minute, though. Yeah, they're both starting to get fairly tired. I mean, no Tai Tuivasa bullshit, but still very tired, very tired. Round two. This round was better for Tybura. Tybura lands a good combo off rip, but Fortune does fire back quickly. The speed was the biggest problem for Tybura here. seemed like Fortune was just miles ahead as far as speed goes, just so much faster, able to back up off all his combos and exchanges so quickly. But yeah, they have a good grappling exchange, and then Fortune does get kicked in the balls, but really quick, he's like, all right, I'm good to go. So that was like a quick little, damn, you kicked me in the balls, no big deal though. Fortune lands some good right hands right after that. Fortune does end up falling, sort of kicked his leg out, but is up very quickly. Tybora's just too slow for Fortune, and he can't land well going forward. If I were him, I would have waited and tried to land better off counters. I think he would have had, if I were him. I'm just saying, I think he would have been able to counter better than he was coming forward. And then round 3, Fortune lands a good shot into the cage side clinch early here. And then now Tybura clinches cage side as well. They're sort of fighting for that position. They break out, but are right back into it. And then Fortune kind of backs off and keeps finding a home for that 3-2. Just 3-2. You hear his corner screaming, 3-2, 3-2. It just kept, boom, 3-2, 3-2, just continuously. And it was landing like almost every, at least the 2 would land almost every time. That they lands another takedown, and then they just keep fighting for that cage side control. A bunch of swinging and missing at the end of the round. They're both very tired. But yeah, and then they're announcing the decision, right? And they raise Marcin Tybura's hand. And I'm sitting there like, did the judges watch this fucking fight or not? And, you know, everyone watching it is thinking the same fucking thing. And then, you know, Tyrell's already left the fucking ring, the octagon. And they call him back in. They made a mistake. Tyrell Fortune did win, and they announced Marcin Tybura. So I feel for Tybura. That's terrible. But I'm sure Fortune is also like, goddamn, thank God I won that shit. What the fucking shit? Fuck. You know what I mean? So that would have been, you know what I mean? So that would have been crazy. But yeah, Tyrell Fortune, I think this was his debut as well. And what a debut. Good job. He was, you know, did have the age advantage. He was a lot younger. But yeah, I think we could see some pretty cool things for him going forward. He trains with Acosta, I believe. Damn, Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. The Hooper fan train is over. Let's start with round 1, the one and only round. Yeah. This did not go how I was expecting. Off rip, Lance lands some kicks. Chase fails a single leg. Chase lands a head kick, though. And then Lance lands a big elbow, drops Chase, and lands some knees, kicks for a TKO at the end. Right as soon as Lance throws that elbow, you see Hooper's ear just start bleeding, right? Just immediate. And he was rocked and kind of on one leg. And then Lance threw a kick and then into a knee. It was beautiful work. Great job. Now, they did get into sort of a scramble like towards the end because Chase Hooper wasn't knocked out. You know, he was completely conscious this entire time, but he was, you know, weak and, you know, TKO'd. The ref kind of rolled in with them. But Chase was conscious enough to kind of go for, you know, some type of, you know, grappling exchange. Looked like a single leg. So, I mean, he didn't contest it because he was obviously hurt as fuck. But in my mind, I was thinking, wow, I would have been pissed. Like, that seemed early. But obviously, he knows when he's done and when he's not. So, must have been worse looking than what I was seeing. So, yeah, 2 minutes, 50 seconds into the first round. 56 seconds into the first round. TKO Lance Gibson Jr. His father was in the UFC, made his debut in 2000. 26 years later, he gets to be here. He was very emotional in his octagon interviews, crying and shit. But good job on him. That's a good win. I'd say let him fight Drew Dober, but Drew Dober, he will kill him. Drew Dober hates black people. That's just a fact. Next, Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tofik Musayev. This fight, man. Great fight. Totally deserved to be the featured prelim. Some questionable non-calls by the ref, so yeah, I mean, this was, I really like Ignacio, so I was a little sad to see him get the loss here, but he was a warrior, man. He held right down, and it was back and forth for most of the fight. All right, round one. Round one, there's some wild exchanges right off rip. Both guys coming out fast, coming out swinging strong, hard. Masayev ends up catching a kick, but eats some shots off that. As soon as, like, Ignacio's, like, legs in the air, he's just throwing shots right back at him. So Ignacio's throwing a lot of kicks and a lot of feints. Lands a good shot and then clinches up. Ignacio's timing clean shots. Masayev lands a takedown for some ground and pound at the end of the round. Close round. Slight edge Masayev maybe for the takedown, but it could have went either way, judged off the significant strikes or anything here. Now round two, this was just wild shit. Ignacio drops Masayev early, and I think it's over. He drops him, about to get some TKOs. And then, there was a very clear, double fence grab, pull yourself up. Ref didn't see it. There was also a headbutt. There's a lot of shit going on here that I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is kind of bullshit. Anyways, somehow gets to his feet, catches a kick, takes it to the ground. Masayev lands some big shots on the ground. He's killing it. He's a killer on the ground as far as ground and pound goes. Bahamas attempts 2 submissions. Doesn't get either of them, obviously. And then just some nasty ground and pound from Masayev. Ignacio is cut bad. He's got a terrible cut. Masayev landed an elbow, really cut him right above his eye here. Right above his eye. And he's pouring blood, bleeding all over the place. At the end, Ignacio is cut bad and fighting off his back. God damn it, Ignacio. But really crazy shit. So, in between the rounds, in my mind, I'm watching the cut woman. I'm like, all right, get him cleaned up. Put some Vaseline on that shit. Let's do this shit. No fucking Vaseline. I have written in my notes here, dumb bitch, no Vaseline. Hey, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but what the fuck? And he's motioning. I don't know if he's motioning for a towel, but in my mind, he's saying, bitch, where the fuck my Vaseline? I'm gonna bleed 10 times worse without some fucking Vaseline. That's literally 90% of your job as a cut woman is to fucking put Vaseline on the fucking fighters. This guy's bleeding fucking literal quarts of blood and you don't put any Vaseline on his... Alright, I need to calm down. I thought that he needed some Vaseline. Anyway, round 3. Ignacio lands a spinning fucking elbow. That was pretty awesome. Masayev follows up with a big 1-2 into a takedown cage side again. Masayev landing some devastating ground and pound. Ignacio is kind of able to reverse it and is trying to take Masayev's back and looking for a submission for the end of the round. That's pretty much how round 3 went down. Dominant for Masayev. I really like Ignacio. Sucks he wasn't able to get this win here, but great fight from both guys. Just a phenomenal fight from both of these guys here. On to the main card. Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. Why was everyone doubting my boy Terrence McKinney that fucking much? What did Terrence do to make you not believe in him? Was it the fact that he's never went to a decision? All right, yeah, he's been finished, all right? But you know why? Because he puts it all out there. Because he's giving it everything he fucking has. It's either kill or be fucking killed out there for Terrence. And look how patient he was. 24 whole seconds into the round. I mean, he really waited for this knockout. This guy... Look at this. Look at this. He landed fucking... Why would anyone think Kyle Nelson was going to win this? He landed 1 fucking punch, dude. He landed 15 punches in 24 seconds. That's almost 1 punch a second. Guy was fucking cruising. Anyway, round 1, the one and only round. Terrence McKinney's coming out very fast. He does eat a big leg kick that kind of stumbles him, but then gets up, boom, drops Nelson into a TKO finish. Nelson's covering up, Terrence just fucking hammer fisting. And, he wasn't knocked out or anything, but he wasn't going to be able to get out of that position, so good call from the ref. Terrence McKinney, very strong fucking dude. He threw a head kick, kind of that wild. It was fucking wild shit. Terrence McKinney is a fucking animal, bro. And he was able to compete on the same card as Michael Chiesa, who was his wrestling coach in high school, I believe. So that was fucking crazy. He got the dub. Fucking Jaden Cable Maxing is apparently the new meta. So let's fucking go Terrence McKinney. Great win for him. All right, now Mansour Abdul Malik. I don't know what the fuck the odds makers were on. They should have been listening to me. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yasuri Belgori. Belgari? You know what? Belgori. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Malik was the favorite here. Pretty decent favorite, too. I think he was like negative. Maybe he was. Maybe he was close. Might have been like only negative 150 or something. But I knew Yasuri was going to get this fucking win. I mean, I knew it. Based off his last fight, how could you think that Malik was going to win this shit? Round 1. Malik's looking patient at the beginning of the round. Belgori is keeping Malik at range, though, and chopping at those calves. Just chopping at those calves early. Also landing a lot of body kicks. And some jabs. Malik's on weak legs already at the end of this round from those calf kicks. Very devastating. You can see the kickboxing background coming into play early. And then round 2, Belgori was really starting to fucking find himself. He's right back at it with that calf kick early. Malik does end up doing some grappling. Good call, honestly. He really didn't have much of a choice. Pushes him cage side. Fails a takedown. He then lands 2 takedowns, though, and takes Belgori's back. Belgori gets out, lands 2 big shots cage side. Belgori's landing some wild combos, drops Malik, followed with some ground and pound for the end of the round. So very dominant round for round 3, or round 2. Round 3 also fucking dominant as fuck. Belgori's looking for this finish. He can smell it. He can fucking feel it. He's like, yeah, I'm this close to finishing this motherfucker. Just kind of hunting him down. Oh, shit. Hunting him down. Malik does land a takedown, but Belgori gets up easily, lands a combo, and knocks him out with a knee. Wild shit. At the end of in his Octagon interview, he said, "My next biggest challenge is sparring this heavyweight motherfucker, Alex Pereira." He trains with Alex. I mean, they fought in kickboxing. He's fought Izzy. I just knew he was going to come out here and fucking fuck this guy up. I had to fraud check Malik's ass, bro. Next, Julian Erosa versus Lerone Douglas. Wow, we had a lot of finishes. Finish. Whoa, I didn't even realize this. Main event was all finishes. Let's fucking go. That's crazy. All right, Julian Erosa versus Lerone Douglas. There's a reason this guy was such a heavy favorite. I think he's like negative 350 at least or some shit like that. Round 1, the one and only round. You may think that the height would have been a problem, but Lerone Douglas showed otherwise. Round 1, there's leg kicks from both guys early on. A big right from Douglas that hurts Erosa quickly off rip. Crazy combo from Douglas. And then Douglas sits him down twice. Douglas is so fucking patient, man. He was really waiting until he was positive. Because Erosa, don't sleep on Erosa, dude. He was rocked a couple times in this fight and kept pushing forward and kept pursuing, still throwing bombs. It was wild, and it attests to his strength. But in the end, just wasn't enough. Sits him down twice. Erosa's clearly on weak legs at this point. Douglas sits him down again for that TKO finish. I mean, Larry and Douglas, man, he's fucking coming for it. Where's he from? Brazil. Should have known. And, there's a pretty big age gap here, I think. Julian Erosa's, he's a vet. He's been in and out. So, hey, that's the game, man. That's the fucking game. Next up, Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. I'm a little upset they didn't let Nico Price talk because this was both of these guys' last fight. And, even though the fight went the way it did, I thought that was a little messed up. I don't think Nico Price is a bad guy. I think he was a very good fighter. You're just old, it happens. Time is the fire in which we all burn. All right, round 1, another first round finish. all finishes on this main event. Let's fucking go. So this was quick. This is a 1 minute, 3 second fight. And like I said, Michael Chiesa was Terrence McKinney's wrestling coach in high school. So I'm sure their combined fight time on this card was less than 2 minutes, both getting that win. I'm sure that felt amazing. I bet they're fucking partying, having some beers right now. This was emotional for Michael Chiesa. I'm sure very emotional for Nico Price too, but I don't know because we didn't let him talk. It was really fucked. Anyway, round one, Nico's pressuring off rip, just off on the gas, right off very early. Then there's a wild grappling exchange. Chiesa gets to Nico's back and submits him. It's that simple. It was that simple. Nico tapped pretty quick. I do think for your last fight, you might as well go to sleep. Fuck it, you know. And then, yeah, they both retired. They had a little montage for Michael Chiesa, and, you know, he went and kissed his wife, hugged his mom, etc., etc., and nothing for Nico Price, even though it was his last fight as well. I understand the guy lost, but he took this fight on short notice. This was his 21st fight in the UFC. He's been fighting in the UFC forever. I just think they should have put a little more respect on his name. I know he's been finished his last. I understand he's losing, but I don't know. Didn't feel right. Didn't feel right to me. That's neither here nor there. Oh my God. And up to this point, I would like to clarify, up to this point, I am 4 for 6 on my picks. So I'm thinking this is the time. I'm going 6 for 6. I'm going undefeated. I'm a fucking killer. And I was wrong because Alexa Grasso decided to fuck me and not in the way that I would prefer. Anyways, Alexa Grasso, this bitch. You know, Macy Barber just can't beat her. And Guru was right, man. If they get fake boobs, they're just not about this life anymore. Not about it. You know, once you start worrying about how you look cosmetically, how focused are you on fighting? Should have went with that logic. Anyways, so round one, the one and only round. How many times have I said that? A lot of fucking first round finishes, dude. A lot of finishes in general. What a fucking card. All right. Lots of kicks early, very feint heavy also. Grasso lands a good combo. Some good exchanges from both fighters. Grasso sits her down with a left and then grabs that rear naked choke. But she was out. She was out cold from the left. Honestly, it was scary. It was a bad one. She got fucking absolutely slept. Maybe I'll put up a picture of her fucking eyes. She did not get up for a while. Like, it was a long time. They did end up... They were both standing and hugging at the end of the round, but it was just, wow, like, holy shit. But, I mean, what the fuck was Macy Barber thinking? Like, trying to stand and bang like that? I just would have mixed it up more if I was... I don't know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, that was a really tough... That was a tough loss. That was a bad knockout. There goes her 7-fight win streak. She was on a hell of a tear. I thought she would be just ready to get this back. And she wasn't. We may have found a new fucking gatekeeper of this division. I mean, I think we have. She's fought Shevchenko like 3 times. Is another title shot again? I have no fucking idea what is next. The better question is, what's next for Macy? I mean, I'm sure she's going to take maybe a year off. You know, she needs to chill. She needs to fucking, chill the fuck out. She got knocked the fuck out bad. So, yeah, all respect to Grasso, though. She, sat down, was praying, hoping for her to get back up quickly. The main event. Guys, it's over for Izzy, man. It's fucking over. His career is done. He just needs to hang it up, dude. He's washed, He's washed. Izzy was a great fighter once upon a time, and those days are just over. You know what I mean? He just got beat by, like, the 14th guy? Hold up. Let me check the fucking... Oh, it doesn't tell me. That's weird. I think he's ranked number 14, Joe Pyfer. Goddamn, Joe. You crazy motherfucker. It's all because of this gyno right here, is he? Oh, what the fuck? That was weird. Whatever. Not important. Round one. Pyfer's grappling early and looking for that takedown. Izzy breaks out. Pyfer lands a good combo. Izzy lands a step-in knee. Fucking wild shit. Gets a couple shots through. Pyfer tries another takedown. He does land a takedown, and he said, but Izzy was, you know, starting to find his flow. You know, he I could see it. I could see he clearly outstruck him. You know, Piper seemed a little nervous. I was like, oh, he knows he's in there with a fucking great. And then round 2, you know, Izzy's chopping at the legs, and it's working because he was doing that in the first round too, and it was wobbling him pretty good. Piper does get eye poked. No big deal, though. You know, whatever. Piper ends up clinching up again. Some wild exchanges from both guys. Piper lands a takedown, gets a hold of Izzy's back, starts to ground and pound for the TKO finish. Something was going on with Izzy's eyes while Piper had his back. Izzy's was like belly up. His eyes were completely closed. I don't know what the fuck was happening, but yeah, I mean, it's just over for Izzy, man. He just can't. He can't do it anymore. He won the first round, started doing well in the second round, and then just fucking, I don't know, dude. Izzy needs to fucking quit. It's done. He's done. It's over, man. Some guys can come back from a loss like that, but some guys can't. You know, I've seen him do it before, but he's not the same, man. He's not the same guy that he once was. Which is sad, because he used to be very good. But now, yeah, it's just over. He's washed. He should just hang it up. Hang it up right now. Anyways, that is the breakdown for the UFC Fight Night event in Seattle. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to quit my job. That'd be great. Peace.